It's nearly impossible to believe that The Crown by Peter Morgan is almost over. When the media was debating whether or not the show needed to include a disclaimer of fiction, and when actors like John Lithgow and Gillian Anderson were generating intense debate about who was portraying the best prime minister, there was a time when the Netflix drama series was sure to make a splash during award season. The Crown has become less and less like the show that it was in its early seasons, and this is evident as the series draws to a close. Part 1 of the series will air this week, and Part 2 will air in December. Netflix has officially released Part 1 of The Crown Season 6, and we've broken down the conclusion of this latest part, including what happens to Princess Diana. The Crown on Netflix has taken us through key periods in the history of the British royal family, from Queen Elizabeth's early reign in the 1950s to Prince Charles and Princess Diana's turbulent marriage and subsequent divorce in the 1990s. The newest batch of episodes explores Diana and Dodi Fayed's relationship as it develops before a tragic vehicle accident has disastrous results. Season 6 is expected to be the final one. Here's what happens at the conclusion of The Crown Season 6 Part 1 for those who are ready to dive in. There will be spoilers ahead. Episode 4, Aftermath, wraps off Season 6 Part 1. The episode follows the royal family as they cope with the fallout from Princess Diana's death and the mounting strain on them as the public grieves for the people's princess. The fatal 1997 car crash, which also resulted in the death of Diana's partner, movie producer and Mohammed Al Fayed's son Dodi, is depicted at the end of Episode 3. In Aftermath, we see the impact this has on the various figures in her life, including her young sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. In addition to finding it difficult to accept the loss, Charles must persuade Queen Elizabeth to mother the nation. In actual life, the Queen faced backlash for her cold demeanor and refusal to travel to London in the days that followed Diana's death. Diana gave people what they needed, even if it was just confirmation that great pain and sadness doesn't discriminate. The Crown depicts Charles pleading with her to pay attention and love to the bereaved public. It also affects people who are wealthy and attractive. They loved her for it as well. Charles leaves her to consider those ideas, and as she does so, Diana's ghost pays the Queen a visit. Diana's ghost remarks, "It didn't need to be," after accusing the late princess of instigating a revolution and pointing to news footage of throngs assembling outside Buckingham Palace. But it starts to look like an enemy when it makes an enemy. Not of who I am personally, but of what I stand for. You've taught us what it means to be British for as long as anyone can remember, she tells the Queen as she concludes. Maybe it's time to demonstrate that you're willing to learn as well. The Queen ultimately addresses the British public about Diana's death in a speech that takes place in London as the episode comes to an end. To start, I would like to honor Diana personally. She was a remarkable and talented person. She never lost the ability to laugh and grin, or to uplift people with her warmth and kindness. She claims, not in good times nor in bad. Everyone at Balmoral has been working to assist William and Harry in processing the heartbreaking loss that they, along with the rest of us, experienced this week. Nobody who was acquainted with Diana will ever forget her. She will be remembered by millions of people who believe they knew her, even if they never did. In my opinion, there are lessons to be learned from both her life and the remarkable and heartfelt response to her passing. I too am determined to treasure her memory. As William, Harry, and Charles accompany the carriage carrying Diana's casket, the scene switches to them crying with the mourning of multitudes of people. The Queen is shown praying while on her knees near her bed at the very end.